The party
Guy
was lame to me.
Fieri.
Fieri.
This is the fun.
Yeah.
So they're trying to track him down. Mora's at the party.
I just want to say, you are never allowed to pick the freaking theme for anything again. Okay. Albuquerque, fire truck. We're just yelling out words now? What's going on here? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This is a weekly podcast, and we do upload the video version of this to our YouTube channel, so be sure to check us out there. My name is Matt, and as always, I am here with my sister and co-host, Vetta.
Hi, guys.
Hey, sis, how you doing?
Good.
On this episode, we have a special guest with us, Tyler. Tyler, how are you doing, dude?
I am doing fantastic.
Awesome, man. Okay, and we are going to, on this episode, be reviewing the movie Evil Dead from 2013. But before we get started, we are going to ask the most important question of the night, and that is, what are you drinking? And we are going to start with our guest, Tyler. Tyler, what are you drinking for tonight?
Tyler, I am drinking it's called Devil's Blend. It's a coffee porter made right here in the great state of Kansas.
Nice. Vetta, what are you drinking?
So I am drinking a Bloody Rain.
Oh, yep, from the ending, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fitting.
So-
Very fitting.
It's really just like a Dirty Shirley, only because it has.
Dirty Shirley.
I love a Dirty Shirley.
Mhm.
It has vodka. It has Snapple Rain soda, so it's like it's called Snapple Elements. I had to go to the store to buy it.
Right
and I was
on,
like,
right
what
on.
the hell? And then it's supposed to have cranberry, but I didn't have cranberry juice, and I'd already been to the store. Wasn't going back, so I put grenadine in it. It's
Yeah.
delicious. It's just like a kitty cocktail, which just not the carbonation of Sprite, I guess. I don't
Right
know.
on.
It's good, and it
Yeah.
looks really red. So.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it's delicious. All right, so I am having what's called a pink fuck, and I this is from the Evil Dead, the Ash versus Evil Dead video game, which I didn't realize until
Yep.
I started making it. But okay, so it's got vodka, strawberry liqueur, grenadine, a little bit of nutmeg, but I think I added too much nutmeg, and then lemonade. But I read, and it's supposed to have ketamine in it, but I was like, who's got ketamine just lying around? But it said strawberry lemonade is the best, so I didn't have strawberry lemonade, so I just had lemonade. So I just like pureed some strawberries and put that in there with it and everything.
Oh, that
And
was
it
a lot
is
more work than I
a lot more work than needed. It's very
What?
sweet though and delicious.
Well, you talk about a lot more work. He went all out. He asked me when I'm drinking. I'm like, I have a beer.
Right. Well, for my backup, I do have a couple of White Claws because I'm gonna finish this probably like two minutes into this review and everything. Okay, so we are reviewing Evil Dead. Mia, a drug addict, is determined to kick the habit. To that end, she asks her brother David, his girlfriend Natalie, and their friends Olivia and Eric to accompany her to their family's remote forest cabin to help her through withdrawal. Eric finds a mysterious book of the dead at the cabin and reads aloud from it, awaking an ancient demon. All hell breaks loose when the malevolent entity possesses Mia. Now, I wanted to ask you, Tyler, before we get started talking about this movie, why did you pick this Evil Dead out of all of the Evil Deads?
Yeah, I picked this Evil Dead because it is my favorite of the Evil Dead. I really love the direction. I was it Fede Alvarez? I'm just going to call him Alvarez.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Betty.
Fede. I loved the direction that he took with this Evil Dead. I'd seen Evil Dead, when I was younger and a kid. And I remember when I saw the trailer for this one, I was like, okay, this is different. He kind of took a lot of the campiness out of it. And
Yeah.
I just absolutely loved his take on this one. And funny as kind of when I was asked to be on here, I was just like, you're like, you got to pick a movie. And I'm like, a friend of ours, Chad, I sent him a message and I'm like, dude, what movie do I pick? And he was like, well, what are your options? I'm like, I got like 30 stewing in my head, man. And so I sent them all over to him and we narrowed it down. And I was like, I I love horror movies. I love everything about horror movies, and we both decided that this would be the one to get to watch.
Yeah, no, this was a good choice. I have to admit, when
Yeah.
this movie first came out, I was like against it. I was like, no, I love Evil Dead. I love that whole trilogy. You can't remake a classic. And then I watched it and I was like, okay, fine, maybe you can remake a classic.
Yeah.
I was like, because this was actually I did enjoy it. Vetta, what about you? Did you watch this movie, Vetta, when it first came out in
Yeah, you
2013?
know me. I love anything blood and gore and horror.
Which I just have to say, the blood and gore, I was not a fan of, which I want to talk about that when we get to
I
it.
know you're not a fan of all the blood, and I
Yeah.
was like, there's so much
Oh, there was a
blood.
lot of going on when I was
I'm
watching it. I
Oh,
sure
was,
I
there
bet.
was.
I'm, especially when they start like the oil, like saliva. I'm just like, what's
They're
going on
like
here?
oozing.
These deadites are weird. I don't get it, that whole thing, but whatever. Okay, so. It starts off right with this opening scene. Now, I just want to say I forgot about this whole opening scene. I thought I had picked the wrong movie. I was like, did I just pay $4.99 for the wrong movie? I'm pissed.
You don't
But
have Shutter? It's on Shutter for
I
free.
don't have I got rid of Shutter and everything because I had
Oh,
too many streaming services. But
oh, you
maybe,
just do the quick little 1 month
oh,
subscription, so
you're
they'll
right.
give it
Maybe
to
I
you for
should do
like
it.
half price or
Well, I
something.
already bought it. Okay, so
Okay,
it's already
well,
too late. Okay, so I love how they capture this girl, and I was like, let's see what's going on here because I was like, is this like a the Hills Have Eyes kind of situation?
right?
What's going
They
on here?
totally, these people look like they're from the
Right.
Hills Have
Well,
Eyes
I wrote.
Yes.
for sure.
I totally forgot about this like old woman change. She's like, I was like, what? I was like, who? What did I say she looked like? I was like, she looks like Large Marge from Pee Wee Herman. I was like, what's going on with Large Marge over here? And then, okay, so when when he takes off the little hood and she's like, Daddy, and oh, I totally forgot this whole fucking scene. I have
Yes.
no idea what's going on right now.
I
Um,
forgot the scene was in the basement of their family cabin, and I was like, and then my brain was like, is their family a part of this, or did they just find this cabin? It's like, this is a good place. Let's
That
do it
would
here.
that's a good question because now that you say that, I do wonder where that dude and his daughter and this like I don't know witchcraft family, from the Hills Have Eyes. I'm like, where did these people come from? Like they just went back
Did
to
he ship them in for this ritual?
right. um, Tyler, what did you think about this opening scene and it's like setting up the whole thing with the cabin and everything? What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. When she's out in the woods and then when he comes up behind her and puts that bag around her head and slams her to the ground. I'm like, this movie is not playing around. I mean, it wasn't just like grab her and then pull. I mean, he flipped her over
Right on.
and then they get her down into the basement and and how that whole scene played out. I was like, this movie is like he was coming out guns a blazing, and that when with this remake, I mean, it was Evil Dead has always been a very in your face sort of movie, and he did not hold back much in this one. That opening scene was fantastic.
Right on. And one thing you had mentioned that I really that you had mentioned was the camp is missing from this movie, which I'm gonna not gonna lie, I do miss the camp because I did enjoy it from the original movie, but that doesn't take away from this one. It's just I love camp all the way around. So yeah.
When I was looking up some stuff over this movie, the Sam Raimi was asked a little bit about that and the campiness in the Evil Dead series, and he's kind of been wishy-washy. Like sometimes he says one way, sometimes he says the other.
Mm.
But he did say that in his original takes of these the Evil Deads, he wanted it to be a lot darker than what it turned out to be. But he said that like the technology and what he had available in his budget at the time, it turned into a little bit more campy than what he was wanting. But he said everybody loved that about the first one, so he just kind of kept it with the series.
Right on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So we then switch over to Mia. Well, it's her brother David. Real quick, I'm not good with names, so I'm not calling these people by their names. I'm just calling them, whatever I want. Okay. So they all come to this cabin because Mia is an addict, and they're gonna
Does
try
it
to
ever
get
say what she's an addict of? I mean,
what
she
was.
pours the powder down, but
Mhm.
it's like a brownish pink powder. So I was like, well, it's not cocaine. It's
Is it
not
crack?
crack.
Well, oh, okay. I
Is
don't
it crack
know.
crystals? I don't know. I'm not a big drug user, so I
You've done
don't
more
know.
than me, so
Anything
I
I
don't
gotta put in my
know.
nose or my veins, I'm definitely not
Yeah, yeah,
doing.
no, I haven't done. Tyler, do you know by any chance?
I don't. They never specified on what the drug of choice was,
It's
but
ketamine. It's ketamine. We've decided.
we're going to go with
That's why you
ketamine.
Yeah,
can't find
yep.
it.
Okay, so I just want to say I wrote down because I like how the gay dude was all like, "You're late," and I was like, "He's late. I'm already not on his side. I can't handle people being late at
Oh,
all."
poor Eric. Poor Eric.
Is that his name?
I do
Yeah,
not
his
Gay.
name is Eric.
Eric cannot follow directions.
Yeah, this is all the gay dude's
His
fault.
fault.
It's all his fault. I
All his
blame him
fault.
for everything.
There could
Um,
not have been more signs for him
yeah,
not to do
I just,
anything.
yeah. I just want to
I know
say,
I'm skipping ahead, but you
no,
brought up
you're
Eric,
totally
it makes
fine.
me
You're
so
totally
mad.
fine. Yeah, he made me mad the whole time too, because I'm all like, you've got cats hanging from the ceiling, dude. You don't just pick up some. The book had barbed wire on it. Leave it alone. It's
And it's
fine.
wrapped, and yeah, I just go.
The Necronomicon.
I go when there are cats that look like they've been burned and skinned alive, hanging from the ceiling by the hundreds. You don't touch anything in that room. And Mia even says that to him. Don't touch anything in the basement. And he takes that book out. And on the very first page, it says, do not read this.
Do not read.
Do
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first off,
There was quite a few warnings for
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
in that
for
book.
sure.
The do not read,
And
write,
he-
or think.
and he went above and beyond. He's all like getting out paper, sketching through. I'm like, what is this? Like memoirs of a
He wrote it and said it and
Yeah,
thought it.
yeah,
He didn't
yeah.
follow any of the
He
fucking
was
Yeah,
like,
rules.
they scratched out all these words over here that I'm not supposed to read. Let
Right.
me get this thing and
Right,
scribe it out real
exactly.
quick.
Yeah.
What are they hiding from me?
Right.
Does he tell anyone that he did this shit?
He tells him like at the very like almost to the end. I'm all like,
Tell them. He goes, guys, I found this book that I read out of it. I think that's what this is about. He doesn't really say he did it. He conjured this shit up.
He
makes
did,
it
he
sound
did,
like
yeah.
This book has the answer.
Well, I did
found it.
right on. I did write down somewhere in my notes. I have to because I have 2 pages of notes, by the way. I have to like I was like, how does because he says something like there's ancient like an ancient alphabet or some crap. I was like, how does he know all this? We have no idea what's going on with the gay dude. I'm like, I don't understand how
Because
he
he's
knows.
a high school teacher. At the
Oh, is
beginning,
he?
the brother,
Yes.
the brother says,
Wow,
oh,
I
well,
wasn't
you're a
paying-
douchebag now or something like that because you're teaching high schoolers. I can't remember his exact words.
That's
But
Right
yeah.
on.
I
Some
watched
high
this
school
movie
teacher.
literally. I just finished it again right before we got on this. So
Okay.
it's
All right.
very fresh in my head.
Okay. Well, okay. So then I go, all right. So, Mia, the sister, I don't know. Right off the bat, I kind of felt like she was being very bitchy. So I was like, I'm already not on your side. I know what happens to you. So I'm kind of like not on your side, honey. Um, yeah. And I was like, I kind of hope she does OD, but whatever. It's fine and everything. Did you guys like the sister Mia and everything? Like from the get-go when we get introduced to her, or were you like me and you didn't like her?
I just didn't really care enough to like her.
Right. Well, I did write down also that I can't believe this brother is not a part of his sister's life. Like he didn't even know she OD'd. He didn't know anything about her.
He couldn't handle the mom because it sounds like the mom was like schizophrenic.
Yeah, and I think Mia, what we learned throughout the movie is that she was the one taking care of the mother
Yeah.
while he was gone.
Right.
And it wasn't even like he was going to college. He was just off to another city to find a job.
Yeah, he was like an
And a
auto
girlfriend.
mechanic. He said something
Yeah.
like he was a mechanic or something like that.
And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Mia also had schizophrenia, and that's why she was so easy to possess, they say. I
Right,
don't
right.
know.
I do have to say, I think that covering up the possession with coming off of drugs, I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I'm like, that's such a good idea. Like, because when she's like, I am seeing things and everything, I'm like, oh, you're just coming down, honey. It's fine. It's fine. You're just getting the chills and stuff. It'll be okay. Just give it till morning. Which they say that all just wait until morning. You'll be fine and everything. Okay.
Yeah, sleep it off.
Which I
Yeah.
also go, is she showing like, is she using the drugs not to just overcome the turmoil of taking care of her mother, but does she have the same things? Like, I totally get why everyone thinks that of her, because she could be having a mental breakdown as well as withdrawal. We don't know. All I know is that sometimes I'm like, y'all should have just dropped her off at a rehab center because she's super bitchy and she's not even going through the hard shit yet. She only made it 8 hours the first time she tried this.
Yeah.
You should leave this to the professionals because she's not good at this.
Yeah, she's not good. And she's definitely a quitter. Definitely a quitter.
Yeah. Oh,
definitely quitter.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I did write down right off the bat was, okay, you know how she's in the house and she's like, it smells awful in here. It smells. So she smelled those dead cats through the fucking floor. I just want to say this right now. Women have like canine senses. My wife does this shit all the time. She'll be like, do you smell that? And I'll be like, I smell nothing. And she'll be like, no, I can smell it. And then she'll like go through the house and then she'll like lift up the couch and be like, I found it. It's a Cheeto underneath the couch. And I'll be like, how did you smell that? Like, what? And I love how when they go down there, they're like, it smells like burnt hair. I'm like, oh, burnt hair is the worst. I was like, oh,
yes.
I was like, gross. I was like, how did you not smell burnt hair on everything? So
when you see that basement, I'm going, are all of them sick? How did they not smell this shit? There's blood on the ground.
Right.
They get down there. There's cats' bodies hanging and there's burned shit everywhere. How did the rest of them not smell this?
Right. Yeah. Like, which I just go, how did that cabin stay? Because they like burnt the like main pole of the cabin. I'm all like, I don't think it's structurally sound anymore, but that's besides the point. Okay. So, I love how when they do come up from the basement, how the gay dude's all like, it's witchcraft. It's witchcraft. And I think it's witchcraft. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, you've got the demon book, asshole. Like, what are you doing? I was like, it's because they mentioned later, maybe it was the witchcraft people. And I'm all like, or maybe it's just like a demon crawling out of the ground, you weirdo. Oh, and I did write this down. So they have the Necronomicon, right, sitting on the table, surrounded by a gun and bullets. And I'm like, right there. You don't have a gun and bullets in a cabin with a druggie who's coming down. That right there is already a disaster. Add possession in there. And I was like, this is insane. You guys are stupid. You've done this before, my ass.
And let's be honest, they're in the middle of the woods, and that never ends well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I did
pretty much a setup for every single horror movie ever, right?
For sure.
Have you guys not watched a single horror movie ever?
Right, exactly. I think people in horror movies don't watch horror movies because they're all like, what was that? What, a demon book? Let's open it.
Let's check this out. Yeah, it's covered in barbed wire.
That's why I don't go camping.
Dude, I wrote that down. This would not be me. They'd be like, cabin in the woods. I'd be like, pass, let her OD. It's fine. She chose her fate.
I'd be like, can't we just do this at the Four Seasons?
yeah, exactly. Like I think there's a Holiday Inn down the street. You guys, we can do it there. It's fine. I did
Exorcist. Can't we just do this shit in her bedroom?
Right. I did write down in bold letters, leave this book alone. I was like, God damn it. Okay. Yeah, but you know the gays, they're all like, what's going on here and everything. So okay.
So are you saying like the moral of the story is don't bring a gay person with you to the cabin? Is that what
I guess, yeah, I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is.
He's being very specific. Apparently not a gay high school teacher.
Yes, exactly. No gay high school teacher.
Or their life is horrible that they have to, summon up demons for entertainment.
So I do like how Mia, when she was all like, I wrote this down. She says, please God, give me a break. And I said, the devil said, fuck that, honey. I'm here to stay and everything. Because then she gets...
He's like, nope, I was here first.
Right. So, okay. So then she gets into the car because she's like, I'm getting out of here kind of thing. And because she sees the demon woman or what out in the woods and everything, which I have to say, I don't know about you guys, but I love the point of view of the demon like going through the woods because I'm all like, this is fun. It's like a little ride. But she gets in the car and she's driving and she's like, and that's when she says the line and everything. But then after she says that line, then she decides to turn on the windshield wipers. I was like, what were you doing before? I was like,
it was raining the whole time.
Yeah, I'm like, this is why women shouldn't drive. Because they don't know how to do it right.
Driver, shut up.
Yeah, sure you are. That's great.
She was fitting every stereotype out there, wasn't
yes,
she?
she was, absolutely, and everything. And then she crashes into like a puddle and everything.
Way more than a puddle.
He said a puddle.
Yeah. And then okay.
person.
So then I love how the her doppelganger like comes out of the water and I was like, oh, and everything. And she's like, ah, and I was like, oh, bitch, I would have ran too and everything. But I would have found the road though. She didn't even try to find the road. She's just running through the forest. And
And
then
she runs into those thorns. That's not
exactly,
where
yeah.
I would have run at
Exactly.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it was
I'd
it
have tried
wasn't just
climbing a tree before I ran
yeah,
into
it
the
was like a
thorn.
wigwam of thorns too. It was like, hey, we're here to, branch rape you and everything. So, which she does by her evil doppelganger, because her evil doppelganger just shows up and is like, ah, and everything. I'm like, hey, calm down. Um, and then it looked like it totally turned into a Hyente porn and everything. It was weird and everything. I did not like that scene
Did you
at
know
all.
that she was told that that scene was going to be in the movie after she had already signed the contract to do the movie?
No, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah, she was told that afterwards, and she was like, "Okay." They're like, "Yeah, they're wanting to keep that from the." If I remember, I think that happened in the original also.
Right on. Right. Oh yeah, they did have a scene like that in the original one.
Yeah, he said they, and she was like, "It was if I remember right, it was actually her stunt double that actually had to do that
Oh,
scene."
right on, right on. Okay, so after this happens, the gay dude is like just fucking with this book, right? He is just going through the pages and everything. And I'm like, the whole time I'm like, why are you still fucking with this book, dude? I'm like, this is not even it's not even a good read in my opinion. Like it's just a bunch of
The
scribbles.
drawings are
Yeah, the
shit.
drawings are like not fun at all and everything.
Everything's
And
crossed out saying "Don't read."
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
and
if someone goes through a book and edits it in red pen, you should pay attention to what they
exactly,
wrote.
Red is meant to highlight something.
exactly.
Yes,
And
exactly.
yeah, they're crossing outwards and saying, "Don't read this," and you're
Yes.
just,
They were
you're
saying, don't read it, don't think it, don't
yeah,
say it. Like, you
exactly.
can't even think the words they're
Meanwhile,
telling you.
yeah, meanwhile he's being, whiny about his lover boy, pretty boy. What was his? I don't remember his name. The
David.
brother, yeah, David. So and then I wrote, so then David, he's like trying to clean up the cats and everything in the basement, which I also was like, why are you trying to clean this up? It's clearly a mess down there.
Just
Just
take what you want, take your memorabilia, and then burn the shit down.
yeah, I was just like, whatever is in that basement is just it's done now. It's like if it got covered in mold, just throw it out. It's fine.
Well, we
Or
know that basement's completely covered in mold. That the one of the scenes in there, that whole basement was like the other part, the back basement area,
Mhm.
is completely flooded.
Yeah, when
Like
David
on top of the dead cat smells that you would
right.
get in there, that swampy, like wet, nasty smell would just be radiating through that whole
Right,
house.
right on. Yeah.
Oh, how
Um,
amazing would that have been if at the end the cops show up and Mia's not missing an arm and nobody's really dead. She'd had one of those like weird hallucinations from the
that would have
mold and
been
everything.
that would have been fun. That would have been
And the
fun.
combination of the mold and her coming off a drug.
I'd be
The black mold finally got to her.
Yeah, right on, right on.
Right?
I did write down this because then David finds their dog, Grandpa, which is a horrible name for a dog, but whatever.
I
Judgment.
thought the name was awesome. I liked
What?
this name. Yes, I thought it was a fantastic name for this dog. It was so funny.
Well, the dog was hammered to death.
I
So
know. And
which
there you
was
go. There's another thing. This movie is like nothing is off limits with this movie. Like
right, yeah.
I mean, not that they just killed the dog. I mean, hammered to death this dog. I mean,
Thank
wow.
God none of
I
these people had any children. Jeez.
right on. I did.
Exactly.
I did write down. I don't care if she was possessed. She deserves everything she get for what she did
Yeah.
to that dog.
After she hammered the
Yeah,
dog's usually off limits
yeah,
when it comes to movies,
yeah,
but nope.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't feel bad for her at all. Okay, so then she's in, and so David, he is pissed, right? And he goes into the house, right, or in the cabin, and he's all like, "Mia, open this door. I got to talk to you." But she's in the shower. And she cranks that fucker to 11 and everything, which I have to just say, I don't know about you guys, but I like my showers hot and everything.
If my
So
skin isn't on the verge of blistering, it's not hot
exactly,
enough.
exactly. So, but it does start to
Reminds
boil.
them where the hell they came from.
Right
There's a
on.
meme out there about this.
So she does boil and blister her skin because she's been in the shower for way too long and way too hot. And I love how the black girl, I don't remember her name, was all like, she's got like really bad burns, like third-degree burns. And I'm all like, yeah, we can see it. Her skin is peeling off her skin right now.
It was doing that melty thing
Yeah, it
off
was
of her
gross. I didn't like it. I
face.
didn't like.
And they had
So
that little touch of like one of the blisters on her face actually
yeah,
popped
yeah, it
in
was
the shower. I
gross.
was
Yeah,
like, what a nice touch that was.
yeah, it was gross. Yeah, it was gross.
Matt's
So
doing the covering
I
his
was
eyes,
doing. I was
peeking
like,
through his fingers and
I
shit
did
over
do.
him.
Yeah, whenever there was like that scene when the face thing, I was like, ugh, that's so gross. Okay. So they try to get out, but there's the creek has now flooded and it's knocked out the road or whatnot. Now I did write down, and you guys can answer this for me. Do you think that the demon caused the flood? I don't know. I don't know how much powers demons have, but I was all like, did this demon cause the flood? Because it was raining, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure demons can't cause rain. But I was like, did the demon like,
Well,
I,
when
you
they were
know,
driving through, at least I thought when they're driving through, it looks like the water's already really high, like
um,
almost to the road's edge.
well, I just wrote down like I would have started swimming. I was just like, well, fuck it, I'll take my chances
Let's see where
in
this
this
goes.
flood. I
swim
was like,
across that
yeah,
raging Nile
yeah,
over there.
yeah. I would have just grabbed a log and be like, let's just get in there. We'll just,
Afloat it.
yeah, we'll
Afloat
just
it.
take, yeah, I'll take my
Canoe
chances.
now.
I'm not going back to the cabin with Psycho over here. She's like letting her skin melt off and
Well,
everything.
we know that the demons really mess with their heads and what they see and what they perceive. So I'm kind of curious if maybe it wasn't as flooded as bad, that maybe the demon like projected that sort of in their head a little bit to where
That's a
they
good.
would.
That's good.
So maybe
Yeah.
that's kind of a thought that I had behind that.
Right on. That's good. That's good. I like that. We're gonna go with that.
All right,
Yeah.
sweet.
Okay.
I win.
So I love how they get back there and they're and the gay guy's all like, nothing is fine. Nothing's fine. I'm like, yeah, nothing's fine since you read the book, fucker. I'm like,
The do not read this book.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And then I love how the black girl's all like, I gave her a sedative. She should be out for a couple hours. Meanwhile, she's just coming out in like 2 minutes, all like, hey, I've got a gun and everything. And I love how
The
they're
one
all,
gun that we should have removed when
exactly.
we were
Exactly. I was like, honey, sedative my ass and everything. I don't know if that
Just like
sounded
I
right.
gave her enough to tranquilize a horse. And
Yeah,
I was
seems
yeah.
like you just gave her some
Because she's
Tylenol.
walking real well.
Yeah.
Just gave her
I
some
don't think she's a
Tylenol
good
PM.
nurse.
Right. I don't PM. Yeah. Yeah. Some NyQuil. And then so then she ends up like shooting her well, grazing her brother or whatever. And I love how when the cabin door opened and she's just like she does the, the demonites or whatever they're called. She's just all like, we shall feast upon your souls before the end of the night. And I'm all like, yeah, that's when I would have been like hiking to that river, like swimming. I've been like, fuck this noise. This bitch just spoke through her throat right now. I'm like,
And her
I'm not-
eyes are yellow. Too,
Exactly,
by the way.
exactly. And I love how, and I don't love how, but she jumps on the black girl and just like blood vomits on her face. I was like, gross. I was like,
Oh,
how
it's
did,
so great.
yeah, I
It's
was,
so great.
I would have been like
Love it.
immediate.
Yeah, she's
I
infected now.
I don't know about you, but I think I saw corn in her hair. I was like, gross. I don't know
Yeah.
what Mia ate, but it's disgusting. I'm not happy.
And with like right after that happened, that lady, she was sitting there, and my instant react, like if that would have happened to me, I would be running to the bathroom to get that off me. I would not be in such a shock that I'm going to sit here with this corn vomit thing
Yeah.
on my face, like what just happened. No,
Yeah,
no, 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 no.
right.
We're cleaning this
And
off.
she's just
instantly.
looking at people like, did this happen? I don't understand. And
I'm vomiting
sorry.
now too.
Right,
because-
yeah, right. It's exactly, yeah, yeah. Okay, so then Mia, during this little scuffle, she gets locked into the cellar very poorly, by the way, because it opens up later. All right, so then,
Tell me that little latch didn't hold her in
it
there.
did not hold her in here. Latches can't hold demons.
Yes.
Okay, so Olivia, she goes to the bathroom. And while she's in there, we see like in the mirror, we see like a smiley face of her and it cracks and everything. And then she totally like gets possessed or whatnot. I'm not
It
quite
wasn't
sure.
just a smiley face, though. Like her skin was missing from her mouth.
Right, yes.
Yes.
Yes. And
So great.
yeah, and she pissed herself. So she,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah. So then, the gay guy, I don't know
Eric.
his name. Yeah, Eric, thank you. He comes in, he's all like, Olivia, you all right? And everything. I'm like, Olivia's fucked right now, so I would just run. But he doesn't. And Olivia, she is like, cutting away at her jawline.
The sound from
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
The sound. Have you ever seen Hereditary before?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
do you remember that when she was sawing at her own head? That
Yes.
sound, that was the first thing that popped in my head when you could hear her cutting was that, oh, that sound.
Yeah, I don't like that sound either. It was like it was gross.
That's all I could think
I
about.
have issues with anyone that goes, I love the sound of people sawing their own head
Well,
off.
Oh
I
my
don't like
God.
I don't like that. I can't make the
Yes,
noise, but I
I know
don't
what
like
you're
that
talking about.
noise. It's just gross. All that shit grosses me out. Okay. So then I
Are
love
you
how
saying I should have picked a different movie for
no,
you? Is
no,
that
no,
what
no.
you're
I love that.
No, no, no. I
And I can
can
envision him at home, you know?
well, I was rewatching it today while I was at work, so I was like the whole time I was like, "Ugh." I was like, all right, pause. I need a minute. Okay, so then she attacks Eric, right? And I loved when she's stabbing him with the syringe or whatever, but it's going into his glasses, but not going into his eyeball and everything. Although the last time it did go into like right underneath his eyeball. But I was just like,
And
and then
that's the shit that bothers me. Anything near the eyes, and I'm
oh,
like,
I'm in the same
mm-mm.
boat also, but everything bothers me. So he kind of knocks her out a little bit, but then she like is crawling towards him or whatnot. Excuse me. And then he bashes in her head.
Yes.
And then everybody comes in and he's like
Repeatedly.
repeatedly, yeah.
Repeatedly.
Well,
And he says, I had to.
Yes.
you've got to make sure. You got to double tap that shit because if you
Yeah,
don't,
thank you.
yeah,
Thank
because
you.
if you don't, they come back. They come
He
back.
would have known that if he would have watched Zombieland before he went
Exactly.
there.
The
Yes.
Deadites come back. You can't trust them at
And
all.
he
Life-
needs to remember he wouldn't have to deal with any of this shit if he wouldn't have read the fucking book.
Yeah.
That's why it's a double barrel shotgun in there. Double tap.
You're right on. And now I am no like medical expert, but as soon as the gay dude had the thing stuck in his thing and
The
they were trying
mirror, yeah.
yeah, and they were trying to like heal it and everything, I just wrote down this dude is fucked. Like I was just like
Oh, Eric gets all his payback in this movie for reading this fucking book.
Yeah.
The demon, like you would think the demon would leave him alone because he summoned him, but the demon goes extra hard on
Right
him
on.
to remind him he should follow directions.
Hey Vetta, how does demons happen?
Right?
That's an inside joke. Okay.
I feel bad. Eric, no, I don't feel bad because you're right. None of this would have happened if Eric would have just followed the instructions like a teacher should.
Right.
Do not read this, right?
Do not
I
That
read
wrote
were
that.
on every page in
Yes.
red.
Right.
Yes. I wrote down some of the things that happened to that guy. That guy got messed up in this movie. I mean, Eric got messed. I felt bad for him towards the end. I'm like, can he be stabbed or shot one more time? Wow.
Right.
And then you're talking about that.
Dies. The things that happen to him, he's got 9 lives
He
because
does.
he
He
should have
does.
died 9-10 times with all the shit that
Oh,
happened with him.
yeah,
He
if I
should
had
have
gotten-
died from tetanus from the nail gun.
Right on. That's so true.
When you were talking about that syringe, the stabbing, that final scene, like, after she first stops, like when you said she got knocked out, he takes his glasses off and he pulls that needle out
Right.
from under. Oh my! I was like,
Mhm.
Jesus, this poor dude, man.
Right
I mean,
on.
how many times did he get stabbed in the hand? He's been
So
stabbed in the
many.
chest. Now
Right.
with that mirror piece.
Yeah. He definitely gets his comeuppance. Okay. So they're in the shed. They're in the shed trying to heal him from his wound, which I'm all like, that's exactly where I would go too. And so he Pretty Boy sends Blondie in to get something.
His name is Pretty Boy now.
Yeah, his name is. So she sends him back. He sends Blondie, his girlfriend, into the cabin by herself. And I wrote down, you think it's a great idea to send Blondie in by herself? Because I'm like, if I was her, I'd have been like, fuck that noise. People are killing people. I'm not going anywhere by myself.
100%. There ain't no
I would
way.
have been like, we took refuge in the shed.
In the
I'm not
shed
going back in there.
with a hole in it. There's a hole leading to like a tunnel. I'm like, what is going on here with this?
If at least there's
Thorns.
only 2 points of entry. So, like, I can at least guard these 2 points from the deadite coming in here. I know
Right.
where they're coming. Inside the house, it can be coming from the floor, that room over here, this room
Right.
over there. I'll
Right on.
stay in the shed.
Right, for sure. I would, yeah. And okay, so she's in the house, right? And she hears the sister, the addict. She's all like, Blondie, why did they put me in here? Now, I just want to say right now, Mia is calling for Blondie, but I was just like, bitch, did you not see her turn into a demon before? I'd have been like, I'm sorry. And then I love how she's explaining to her, like, well, you were killing people and shit. I've been like, bitch, I am going nowhere near this door. I am getting the sharpest thing close to me, and I'm getting ready for you to come at me right now. Like, I don't, no, thank you, please. Um, but of course, Blondie just goes towards the open cellar door. And of course, she tries to go in there to help her. And I'm all like, also, when she's looking down on her and the act is all down, Mia is like down and you can't see her face. I'm
Yeah,
like,
she's looking from
I
behind.
just want to be
Ain't
like,
no way.
red flag. You're not
Yes,
seeing
red
any of the red
flags.
flags here. Like, I'm
Yes.
sorry. And I just want to be like, Blondie, you don't really know Mia. Like, David was never a part of Pretty Boy was not a part of her life ever.
That's
And
a
now
fair statement.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm all like, so why are you trying to be like nice to this bitch who just like shot your mans and everything? I'm like, this makes no sense to me, but you know, women. Huh. And so
We think we can fix everything.
um oh, and then I love how when it has blonde, she's like, I can smell your filthy soul. And I'm like, honey, it's probably you. I think you have company in your hair right now. So I'm like, maybe you shouldn't judge so much, as far as the smell of souls go. Um what did you guys think about Blondie and her whole interaction with, by the way, the part where she puts her tongue up
Yes.
against the electric? I was like, ugh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I
Oh,
turned
when
away.
you're talking about with
The
the razor
electric,
blade.
yeah,
You're talking about
the carver thing, the electric carver
Oh,
thing when
the
they're
like
wait, the
1980s
carver
carve your turkey knife.
yeah,
the
that thing. And she's like, and I was like, oh,
wait,
I can't do it.
so the carving one was when she cut off her arm. When she was down in the basement, she grabbed that little utility knife there
Oh,
and she
was it?
was like
Okay, okay,
swiping at her. And
okay.
then that's when her hand, when she got bit in the hand, and then she took it and then she licked it and cut her toe. I was like, that is an absolute perfection scene right
Right,
there.
right.
That was amazing. That was the attention to detail to even come up with such a thing was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
know,
loved
tomato,
everything about that
tomato,
scene.
tomato.
I
I
loved
um,
think
everything
this
about
whole
that scene.
scene with the girlfriend is great. I mean, one, she's living up to the fool dumb blonde situation. The girlfriend trying to impress the sister. I mean, she's checking off all the boxes and she dies for it. So I'm here for it.
right
Love
on.
it.
Okay, so then she screams and we get Pretty Boy and the gay dude to come back into the cabin, right? And then we get the best line out of the whole movie. Do either one of you want to say the line?
Go
No?
for it.
No?
Oh,
Okay.
is this what Mia said to her brother?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh no, no, you go to town on
Oh,
that
okay.
one. Yeah,
She
yeah,
said, "Why do you come down here so I can suck your cock, pretty boy?" And I was like, I was like, Mia, that's your brother. That's gross. No one's gonna say yes
yeah.
to that and everything.
Yeah,
Plus,
like what's
plus,
he gonna say? Oh, okay, yeah, let's go down there with
yeah.
your
Plus, I just
bloody
wanted.
vomit mouth. I don't think so.
Good offer.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, pass. But I also wanted to be like, I just want to be like, honey, have you looked at yourself? Gingivitis is the
Yes.
leading cause of all tooth
Yeah.
decay, and your mouth is not looking tempting right now, if you ask me. Okay.
And also, was he supposed to say yes? His girlfriend's standing right there. Come on
Right, right.
now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
You're setting me up, is what you're doing.
So okay. So then we get where the gay guy is showing Pretty Boy what's going on with the book. And while this is going on, oh, I forgot to mention that while Blondie was in the cellar, she gets bit in the hand and everything. And so she's trying to clean off her hand where she got bit. And it's just gross. I'm like, ugh. And then the hand is like getting taken over by, demon possession because I was like, that's how it transfer. I did
And
think
this,
that. Go
so
ahead.
good.
No, no,
Oh, I
you
was just
go.
saying, and this is a great throwback to the original right here.
Yes, absolutely.
This is paying some homage to the original one, like the double barrel shotguns, homage to the original,
Hmm.
giving us little Easter eggs from there. And that hand arm scene, that whole thing was, that's how Ash got his hand so he could put it in
Yeah.
the chainsaw.
The chainsaw. Yep, absolutely. And so so she's all, she's being possessed and it's going like through her arm. And the whole time, the sister is like watching from the cellar door. Like she's like popped up like a Houdini trick and all like, hey, I'm watching this shit go down because this is so good. And And then, okay, now you
Now,
tell
didn't
me
that
this.
also happen in the original too, if I remember correctly? That
Yeah, yeah,
there was the lady was in the basement and she was looking up from there.
yes, yes. It
Watching
wasn't
her
a
work.
sister. What?
She was watching her work.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
It was
exactly.
such a creepy scene when she was looking up. The way they did her eyes, that whole thing, that was really good. I'm serious. I love this movie.
Yeah, right. Right on. And then I do so her hand one thing I also wrote down. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. I love how the sister was like, "Your sister's being raped in hell." And I was like, "Okay, all right, weirdo," and everything. Okay. So, while they're reading the book, and then the blondie's getting like possessed, her hand is taking over, whatever. I wrote this down. Do you think, well, first thing I wrote down was like, she needs some milk. And then, I'm like, why don't any of these women scream before all this shit happens? Like when I was cleaning my hand, I've been like, guys, can you come in here and check out my fucking hand? It's fucking gross.
Yeah, it's like
Something's not
rotting.
right, guys.
I'm
Yeah,
watching it rot in real time.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
if something's happening here.
Exactly.
Maybe she didn't want to admit that she went down and talked to Mia because she knew she'd be in trouble.
I mean, I guess so. At this point, I think we're past that nonsense.
She just
Maybe
didn't want to
she's
bother the
afraid
guys
David was
anymore.
going to smack her around for not following directions.
Yeah,
Right on,
exactly.
right on, exactly. So she
So he
decides
could
she's gonna
scold her.
exactly,
He said,
exactly,
I
yeah.
told you not to go down
Yeah,
there.
smack her around a little bit.
Yeah.
So Blondie she picks up the carver, right? And she's gonna cut off her own arm. But now answer this. Was it reverse psychology when the demon sister was all like, you better not cut off your own arm, you better not do it, you better not do it? Because I just feel like I'm like, don't do it, because that's what she wants you to do and
I think she
everything.
was screwed regardless. It wouldn't
That's
have
true.
mattered.
That's
She would have cut
true.
it off. It didn't matter. She was
Yeah,
going
she
down
was.
regardless.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. She was becoming a deadite no matter what.
I
Okay.
think that the Deadite just wanted her to do it. It could have been reverse psychology just for the fact that she wanted to watch her actually do that for sure. But I think she was screwed regardless. It wouldn't have
Or
Yeah,
mattered.
I
she's
agree.
not
I agree.
infected with the zombie virus. It's not cut the arm off and stop the virus from spreading. She has a demon in her.
Yeah. Plus,
Yes.
if that was the case and it was like a virus, I'm putting that in quotes. You're too late, honey. Like
Yeah.
I saw it travel up to your neck and then come back down. You're fucked. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then we get this really great scene where the deadite blondie she gets a hold of the nail gun, which I'm like, I didn't notice that before, so this just popped up out of nowhere. And she just starts shooting at everybody. She's just laying into the two dudes and everything, which I'm all like, well, this is fun, you know. And exactly, here's a question for you two that I have. This entire fucking movie, the two dudes, Blondie, the gay dude and Pretty Boy, they keep putting up their hands and they get their hands hurt. I'm like, they're getting slashed and shit and broken and stuff. I'm like, stop putting your hands up, grab something or whatever, you two. Okay, so
I
she
couldn't stop laughing at that part, and it makes me laugh now because he literally throws his arm up and he
and
just gets
gets
ping, ping, ping,
exactly.
and
Oh, he
he
got
doesn't
so many
move.
nails to the
Dude,
body.
the whole gun basically went into that poor guy. Because I can't remember what the other guys.
Actually, try. He's got all those nails in his arm. The minute the first nail hit me, I would have been hiding. Like I would have just been there waiting for
Oh, I would have just
more.
laid down and played dead. Tyler, what were you saying, dude?
Oh, yeah. I think I can't remember what the other guy, the brother David or something like that. He gets like three in the leg,
Right.
but poor Eric, he gets three through the arm, one through the hand, which now stabs him in the chest, like six more in his chest. Before Eric, who only has three in the leg, finally tackles her down. She like I don't know. I feel like she was like training with weapons or something like that because she was rapid fire in that thing,
For
man.
sure, for sure. Yeah.
This is what I mean by Eric gets what he deserves. I mean, he's
Oh,
been
for sure.
stabbed with needles, he's been stabbed with a mirror. Now he's got some nails in him from a nail gun, and that's probably an entire sleeve, you know, because those nails are like in a sleeve and you plug them in. So, I mean, so far so good, and we're not done with Eric yet.
We're not done with her yet. So he gets battered with a crowbar because they get the nail gun away from her.
Well, okay. Well, my thing was like when he finally did tackle her and got her down, and then she drops the nail gun, and then he's like, Eric over there is apparently the only sane one at this point with 48 nails sticking out of him. He was
Right.
like, "Go get that shotgun before she does." I was like, you tackled this 110-pound female to the ground.
Mm,
Why are you just letting her lie? No way. You need to finish her off. Have you never seen a horror movie ever? Finish her off. Her
do it.
smacking her head on the ground is not, she's not done. She's not done.
She's not done. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I love, okay, so then she finally gets taken out with the shotgun or whatnot, and then he gets Eric out, and
He shoots off her other arm, though.
yeah, he shoots up. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. And then she's all like, Eric, what's happening to me? And I'm like, pretty boy, what's happening to me? I don't remember his name. And I'm all like, do not trust her. Once they go to like regular voice, you can't trust them. I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't go from Deadite to regular voice and expect me to be like, okay, we're cool now. No, you're done. We're done. So, but then she dies.
But I think you're leaving out the part where poor Eric, again, when she walks up to him with that
Poor.
crowbar, and like Vetta was saying, he always puts his hand up.
He
She
did.
hits his hand with that crowbar and splits it in
It
half.
does. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now,
But
I think, Matt, you may have been like trying to keep that out of your brain. Like you were like, no, 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 I don't want to remember this
I
scene
do
at all.
I do remember it though, because I remember going, oh, he only has like two fingers now. Okay,
Yeah,
that's interesting. Like, so
completely V'd his hand open. I was like, wow.
so so then Pretty Boy decides he's gonna burn the cabin. He's like, I know what I have to do now. I'm like, now? Okay. And everything. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that they have to possess slash take over five souls, and then this demon comes up out of the ground or whatever.
Right.
Okay, so he's like, I know what I have to do because they have to kill the demon that's inside the sister but three ways. They have to bury her alive, they have to dismember her, or they have to purify her with fire. Okay. So then he's like, I know what I have to do. So he's gonna burn down the cabin. Okay. And as he's throwing the gasoline around, he's like, I can't do this. I'm like, you idiot. I wrote down, burn this motherfucker down. I was like, that's not your sister. But he decides he is going to do the first option of burying her alive. So he decides he Jimmy rigs this thing, which I'm just all like, I don't know if this works or not. I'm no mechanic, but a battery and some syringes, a medical tool does not make, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. So he decides he's going to go down to the basement, right? And I wrote down he has not learned a thing because I felt like he just went down there with a flashlight and no plan at all. Like I'm like, what are you gonna do? Talk her into just, hey, come outside with me for a second? No. And then so she just starts thrashing him all over the fucking place. She is like treating him like a hacky sack.
And where did she come from, by the way? She just poofed
she,
into existence.
she was a Houdini
Into-
trick. She just popped up out of nowhere.
Because I was thinking, right when he went into that room and she popped up behind him, I'm like, you didn't clear the room before you came in there to make sure she wasn't like hiding in a corner to come up behind you?
Exactly. He went down there with the shittiest of flashlights. I'm all like, this is
Yeah.
this is not a plan,
It's
but
the
whatever.
old flashlights
He
from the
went down there
80s that have
hoping
like
for that cock sucking, you know.
he's still traumatized from that. Right?
Girlfriend's not a problem anymore.
Right on. So he's getting drowned in the pool of water that's down there, like you said from
It's
before.
like a little whale there in the
Yeah,
corner,
yeah,
or
exactly,
something
right.
like that. I don't know, whatever that's for.
Right on. And then Eric, in his final moments, he hits her over the head with a bat, I believe it is, and knocks her out. And then he dies. Okay. Now, I just want to say right now, I don't know about you guys because this comes up later on, but I immediately was like, you need to burn Eric right now because if we've learned anything, if you die in this cabin, you are coming back to life as a gross person. Or as
So
we like
this
to
would
call
have
them,
been the one
hobos.
This would have been probably the one part I would have failed at because that actually never dawned on me because he
Oh,
never
gotcha.
was possessed and all that stuff. So that actually did. It was quite a
Okay.
shock what
And
happened.
in my brain, I went, cut his head off because if not, he's gonna get possessed.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
said burn. Burn would work too, but I go straight to decapitation.
Yeah, that's
because-
fine. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
it's
like,
hard to do anything if you can't see, right? I get it. Man.
yeah, yeah.
I can just run circles around you if you're just an aimless body running around. I got you.
Right on, right on. Because I totally forgot about the ending with Eric and everything.
Yes.
I was just like, when that happened, I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this. Kind of like the opener. Okay.
Right. Where you're like, it's
So-
Evil Dead. No, nothing. It's everybody's gonna die, sort of a thing. I should have
Right.
just known. It was too quiet and too, serene of a scene when he was walking through the house. You knew it was something's coming.
Right on. Okay, so then he buries her alive, right? And she's trying to do the whole
Why did they dress her in that dress?
dude, I don't know. I don't know, man. Everything's weird, you know. Like he
Yeah.
put a bag over her head, and I'm like, well, you don't need to put a bag over her head. It's fine. Oh no, I know why he did it because he's gonna bring her back. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, you don't want her
Okay.
mouth full of
Now,
dirt.
now I know why. Okay, it just dawned on me why he put a bag over her
He
head.
doesn't want her choking on
Yeah.
I
spit.
was gonna let you say your thing, and then I was gonna point that out.
Yeah. No, I said it, and then I was like, oh wait, no, that makes sense now.
I
Okay.
have
didn't want to.
news for you that if I had to bury you alive and bring you back, I'm not undressing you and redressing you in a dress.
Right,
Okay?
right. Thank
No,
you.
I 100% think you should. So when he comes back, he's standing there
I used
in
to
this.
dress him up in dresses when he was
Yes.
little.
Make
That's
sure it's
fine. I
very
liked
short too, not like a
it.
full length sundress, like real
A
short.
nice
That's
little
hey, I'm
hoodie.
down. I'm down. I'm down. I'm down with the sickness. Okay. So then he buries her and then when after he does he unburies her and then he sticks the little syringe like zapper
Makeshift,
it
is that
makes
like a defibrillator?
yeah his mate
Defibrillator.
and
There's the
that
word.
that
Yep.
pulls back to way back at the beginning of the movie when the friends had said that she had OD'd and they needed to use a defibrillator on her.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I didn't even catch that. It's all right. Full circle.
yeah. So he brings her back to life. And I just want to say, after he brought her back to life, where are her third degree burns? Because I don't feel like they should have just gone away just because you're not possessed anymore. That's
So
still your skin.
this
I'm like,
so people pointed this out when I was looking up stuff over this movie that they were like, where did the burns go? A lot of people pointed that out, that her burns still should have been there.
right on. Did anybody give a reason why?
No. It
Oh,
was just
okay.
like when they were talking about like goofs and stuff like that in the movie, that was one of the things a lot of people talked about.
Right on.
Maybe
And
they were all
so
hallucination.
maybe. So
This whole movie is just a bad dream, is all it
right
I'm
is.
on.
telling you, it's really just her,
Coming
coming
down
off
from
the
the drugs.
drugs.
Hey,
Yeah. Or the
Okay.
mold spores.
Oh,
One
the
of the
mold
two.
spores. Yeah. So they decide they're gonna leave now. They're like, hey, we've conquered this demon. We're gonna get out of here. And Eric's all like, I'm gonna go and get the keys from inside the cabin. So he goes in, and guess who's there? Deadeye Eric. And I'm all like, oh yay, and everything. So then he, attacks Pretty Boy.
Stabbed him right in the throat,
Stabbed him
too.
right in the
I
throat
mean,
with
right in the throat.
with some nippers. It
I
wasn't
know.
even like with a glass shard. It was like a pair of nippers, and I was like, oh, that sucks. And one thing I always like, you ever watch those medical shows or movies or whatever, and they're like, if you get stabbed with something, don't pull it out because then it might be holding everything together. Not people in this movie. They're just pulling everything out left and right. I'm all like, fuck this. I'm just gonna. Who cares if it's like blocking an artery or whatever? It's like it's just pull it out.
I don't know.
Um,
I probably by default would be like, "What the hell?" and just get it right out of my throat.
no, right. Well, I
listen.
mean,
I'm dying. I'm
for
dying
sure,
in these
for
movies. I'm the one that's like, "Oh, what's that noise? Let's go check that out." Yeah,
For
so,
sure, for sure.
yeah.
And then so Pretty Boy closes the door, long story short, and he's all like he points the shotgun at the gasoline thing that he had, and he shoots it and blows up the whole cabin and everything. So then we think it's the end, everything. Like that's the end. All the deadites are
Yep.
gone.
Yep.
But if you remember correctly, in the Necronomicon, it said they had to collect 5 souls. So technically, Mia died and everything.
Yep.
So so it starts raining blood. And I love how she's just like looking like what's going on here? And I'm like, oh, you didn't hear the story. You were possessed. I get it now. Okay.
Yeah. You weren't
And
here for the beginning. Sorry
exactly,
about this,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
You didn't
were
read the book. You should have read the book. You would have known what was going on.
exactly.
And he killed Eric,
Yeah.
so he can't tell you what's going to happen.
Exactly. So the creature, she just pops up out of the earth and everything, and Mia's all like ah and everything. So she's running around and everything, and I love how she crawls in the little hole that the dog was in, and I love how the demon just pops and she's like Mia, and I'm all like, stop saying it like that. You're creeping me out, okay, weirdo. What is this ASMR, you little weird freak and everything. So she's inside the shed and she grabs the chainsaw, which again, coming back to the Evil Dead, the original one or whatnot. And I love how it didn't have any fuel in it and everything. I was like, yeah, because Eric used it for the cabin, honey. Come on. And no, I'm not gonna lie. When she grabs the extra fuel from the shelf, or she knocks it on off of the shelf and everything, I literally thought that was mouthwash. I was like, that is not gonna work at all. I was like, that's not gonna work.
And
But
by the way, who keeps little spare fuels and like a
I
little
know,
water
right?
water
Yeah.
container up there. When you, by the way, you had a whole gas can full of it,
That
so
is
it
so
doesn't
true.
make. Yeah, I'm with you because I was sitting there going, "This isn't a Dasani bottle, water bottle here. Like,
Yeah.
what is this?"
Yeah.
I don't use chainsaws a lot, but does the fuel
Oh,
for a
you know
chainsaw
Females.
what?
like,
You're right.
through
Yeah.
antifreeze?
No. You're yeah, actually they would make sense now that I think about it because you're right. The chainsaws are two-stroke, so it would have been mixed gas
Yeah.
specifically for the chainsaw. So it does actually kind of makes now that I think about it. Yeah, it would have been a mix specific for that chainsaw. So yeah, no, it does make sense now that I think about it.
I'm right on,
Yeah,
right
I
on.
just was confused on is it blue? I was like,
Yeah, the color I'm not sure about.
yeah,
Right
that's what
on.
confused me. I was like, I couldn't even care less about where the gas came from. I was like, it's blue. Is chainsaw gas blue?
Well, that's why I thought it was mouthwash because I was like, I was like, all right, whatever.
Oh, some Listerine. This will
Some
definitely
Lister,
work.
exactly. That's exactly what I thought it was. I was like,
It works for everything.
it
It
works for
does. I
everything.
think it's flammable. It'll be fine.
So, and I love how she popped up out of the hole and she's like, trying to get her. She's like, come here, bitch, and everything. And I was like, you need to calm down. And I love how she knocked that shit in her way and she's like crawling through the wall, like the little wall
Yep.
sockets or whatever. And then we get, because she first was going to grab a machete, and then she's like, oh, look, a chainsaw. So then we get the machete. It's coming through the wall and everything, and it's cutting into her a little bit or whatnot. And she pounds through the wall to get out of the shed. And she's crawling through the mud and the blood rain and everything. And I love how she hides underneath the Jeep. And as soon as the creature, which I don't know what the creature demon's name thing is, but it comes up to the Jeep
We're
and
just gonna call him Satan.
yeah, Satan.
Yeah.
She cuts Satan's leg off. I laughed at this part because I was like, "You little idiot, Satan! You're just gonna come up to the Jeep. You know she's under there, you little moron." Um,
Where else could you be hiding?
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
she's like wide open. This is
But
the
I'm
one hiding spot.
Yeah, exactly. But I love how she falls over, and then Mia tries. She crawls out from under the Jeep, and then Satan just lifts that fucker with one arm. I'm like, Satan, look at you getting to the gym. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm like
Somebody's been
jealous.
working on their overhead
Exactly.
press, man.
Exactly. I'm like, you know how long it took me to get to 250? It took you like 2 seconds. I'm jealous and everything. So, okay.
Satan's definitely on some PEDs. That's
Yeah,
all
for
I'm
sure.
saying. That is not natural.
That's good. That's good. I like that. And I love how she knocks it over. And Mia, I'm just like, Mia, you need to crawl faster, bitch, because this thing is lifting. And then, yeah, exactly, tuck and roll, bitch. And then it lands right on her wrist. And I was like, oh, that sucks to be you. I was like, chainsaw that fucker off and everything. But it sucks losing your arm or your hand or whatever.
But the way she's pulling it off, I'm like, I
Oh,
don't
that
think
gross. I
that's
was
how
like, "Ugh."
arms work.
Right?
But
I mean, she put everything she had behind ripping that arm off. She had her legs
right,
up there,
and the
everything.
skin ripping off is one thing, but she like rips through the bone, and I'm like, girl,
Right,
I have a
right.
hard
Yeah.
time eating a
Right.
chicken wing, and you just tore through your arm like it's no problem.
Okay, so
You got this open wound with all this blood coming from the sky. Like, what kind of bacteria now are we getting at this point?
Yeah, right.
Explain how you got that disease, right?
Right, exactly. And so I love how Satan like crawls around the Jeep, and then she makes the comment. She's like, "You're gonna die here, you pathetic junkie." And I was like, "Ooh, good one, Satan." I was like, I was like, you're the master of all the demons, and that's the best you could come up with. You're gonna die here,
saving that all
junkie."
night.
Exactly. I was like, burn and everything. So then she defeats Satan
in an epic way.
Die by being sliced in half, because I feel like that's not exactly the best way to kill a demon.
I don't know, man. The chainsaw to the nugget, that's a pretty good one right there.
Well, it's a great effect, and I love when the face is split in half and the eyes blinking.
Yes.
I mean, but technically it's not dead, is it? If the eye's still blinking, and it's like, the best would have been if it talked to her and only half that mouth moved.
That'd have been great. That'd have been great. Like
that would have brought back some of that campiness from the original.
That
right
is
there.
true. That would have been fun. That would have been fun. So then the dead body of Satan, it sinks into the ground and everything. And and then Mia is good to go, and she it does a like a close up of the Necronomicon, and then it just goes to black. Okay.
Yep.
And we do get a post-credit scene, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, I totally did not remember this one. Um,
Groovy.
yeah, exactly. Where
Yeah.
Ash from the original trilogy, he shows up and he says groovy and everything. Now, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to ask you guys a question, and we kind of talked about it, but comparing this to the original Evil Dead, if you saw it, how would you say it compares to it? And do you prefer this one over the original one? Tyler, we'll start with you.
Um, I don't think it's definitely its own thing for sure. I would not compare the two. Obviously, except for the Deadite, says some of the, obviously some of the things that he threw in for the fans, like the shotgun and the chainsaw and stuff like that. But if I was going to compare, like which one would I have liked better, I definitely liked the 2013 version better. I always enjoyed what the originals were. I appreciate what they were, in like horror movie culture and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But for me, the 2013 is it was amazing. It was such a great re-envisioning of that. And I
Hmm.
do like how they threw the Oldsmobile in there too. The old the 77 Olds, which was in that movie, which is kind of a staple of Sam Raimi's to throw that movie or throw that vehicle into his movies.
Right
Did
on.
you guys catch that, by the
I
way?
did not, but now that you mention it, I get it now.
Yeah, when she was sitting on it like towards the very beginning of the movie. That Oldsmobile from the originals was in the movie right there.
Right on. Vetta, what about you?
Yeah, I don't like comparing them because in my mind, I just kind of go, this is just an add-on. I also don't like to be all like remake and all that because it just doesn't feel that way. I think the best way wouldn't have to end it wouldn't have been Ash showing up going groovy. I think it would have been best if he came in and like got there when she had killed everything and be like, oh, you didn't need me after all, or something like that. Um, because I just think this is another addition to already a really great franchise to begin with. But I do like this one. It isn't like a lot like normally when you hear of, oh, well, there's a new one in 2013, you're like, ah, shit, this is going to be crap. It's not like that at all. This is really good. The blood, the gore, the kills. And like I said, it even gives you some laughs because Eric keeps throwing his arms up in front of his face. And, you know, I mean, they threw the book at him when it came to kills because he read the book. So I go, I like them all. Um, I don't have anything bad to say about any of them. I say watch them all. They're great.
Right on.
But definitely don't compare them.
Well, I
They're definitely
compare.
not comparable, that's for
I can,
sure.
No.
I agree.
see, I compare them, but at the same time, I do go like, for instance, like I miss the face on the book on the Necronomicon. I miss that aspect of it. I was like, that kind of like added a little creepiness to me, a little bit
Yep.
of a nitpick. But I did like I said before, I did like that they kind of covered up the possession with drug addiction. I thought that was very clever, and I did enjoy that part of it. I also missed, like I missed some of the stuff like when like in the original one, like the headless girlfriend. It might have been Evil Dead 2. Don't quote me on this. Like when he would talk to the head that her head, in that one, and I was like, oh, I kind of miss a little bit of that kind of stuff. And then I also wrote down I miss the camp from the original trilogy. But at the same time, I thought that this was not only I thought it kept the spirit of the original a movie, and I really liked that about it
Yes.
because I love the Evil Dead series. I even love the TV show and all that stuff. And I thought that this movie, when it originally happened, that I thought it was just going to be like just a bastardization of the
A
original.
cash grab, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
really annoyed with that situation. But
Yep.
then I watched it, I was like, you know what? I take it back. I really liked it. It was really fun. And I also thought that it was a great setup for its own trilogy of movies or its
Yes.
own
Mhm.
like universe that would just like not be like shitting on the original, but be like its own thing, but also paying
Yep.
homage to it. And I
Yes.
really
Homage. That's the word I've been looking for this
Yes.
whole
right
time.
on. Yeah.
Homage.
Yeah. So I did like this movie, and I do not feel like it disrespected
No.
what I loved from the past and everything. Okay, but before we wrap this up, is there anything else you guys want to say about this movie? And then I also want to ask, would you recommend it? So Tyler, we'll start with you.
Yes, I would 100%. When people ask, because I'm again a big fan of horror movies, so people ask me like what are good ones to watch. Evil Dead is generally towards the very top of the list of movies we I would recommend it. My parents actually have a movie room in their house, and like all the children
Nice.
got to pick a poster to put into the room. And mine is the poster actually from this movie, the most
Nice.
terrifying or like most terrifying movie you ever see or something like that. I think I sent it to you, but that I have that in there. But yes, that is I would highly recommend this movie. If you're not a fan of blood like Matt is here,
I
you'll
am not.
probably you're going to be in for a little bit of a shock. It was done with a lot of practical effects too, which I really appreciated
Yeah.
about this movie because like when they redid like The Thing, it was a lot of CGI and people really hated that movie. But
Hmm.
this movie got a lot of praise from fans of the Evil Dead franchise, and I think it really reinvigorated the franchise too. I mean, because we got Rise, and then of course we got the series Ash versus Evil Dead, which is a fantastic series if you haven't
Yeah, I
watched
love
it.
it. Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Betta, what about you? Do you have anything else you want to say about this movie?
I
And
would
would you
totally
recommend?
recommend these. I would totally recommend it. I don't have anything else to say. I mean, the kills are great. Um, but yeah, definitely would recommend it. But you know me, I'm a horror film junkie. I watch really shitty horror films just to see
You're a
if they're
horror
as bad
film.
as the. Yep.
Haha.
Yeah. So I would recommend it. And anyone who comes on as a guest, I totally recommend that the more blood and guts it's got in it, the more you should recommend it for Matt. He loves that shit.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I would also recommend this movie. I thought it was great. I also loved the sequel to this. I can't wait to see where they go next with this new iteration of Evil Dead.
Yeah, Evil Dead Rise was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Tyler, before we head out, can you tell everybody where to find you at, dude?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter of my recently reinstated account at
Nice, nice.
Bourbon is Life 80. It had been booted for a year and a half, so I finally got that back right as you had asked me to come on this show. But
Hmm.
Twitter is definitely where I spend most of my social media time at.
Right on. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I will leave the links for that in the description down below, you guys, if you guys want to find Tyler. Sorry, I ran out of breath there. All right, but thank you guys so much for joining us and listening to this episode. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at BS Drunk Pod to stay updated. Now, if you listen to us on Apple Podcast or Spotify or wherever you get your podcast needs, please leave us a 5-star review, you guys. We would really appreciate it, and it helps us out a lot. We'll also be posting the video version of this, like I said before, to our YouTube channel. So be sure to check us out there. And you can check us out at BS Drunk Movie Reviews. Make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. We also do have a Patreon if you're interested, there's plenty of different levels to suit whatever needs you have are there and everything. And we go through movie series and everything. Like we've done Jurassic Park and we've done the Scream series, all that good stuff. You can go check it out. And the link for that will be in the description down below. But most importantly, you guys, please don't forget to drink, recap, review, and repeat. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.